Ikiwa ni Ijumaa, basi unafahamu fika kwamba tunazungumzia ukulima endelevu, na hapa ni tofauti kidogo kwa sababu hatupo studioni, tumeondoka, tupo katika eneo la Mombasa Road, sehemu inajiita Apiculture Ventures. Kubwa zaidi ni kufahamu mengi kuhusiana na nyuki. Je, unajua kwamba 80% ya miti na mimea yetu hutegemea nyuki kwa uchavushaji au pollination? Basi utafahamu sana hayo, na vile vile tutakayezungumza naye ni Pauline ambaye hakika alisafiri kuelekea kule Dubai. Shughuli kubwa ni kuzungumzia masuala ya nyuki na mazingira. Inahusikaje? Hapa usiondoke, maana kuna mengi ambayo kwayo wewe unafaa kufahamu kuhusiana na nyuki na mazingira yetu. Twende kazi. Queen B. Kazi safi.
Asante sana.
B, kwanza nilipoona na nikajua kwamba kuna kina dada katika industry ya nyuki, basi ikanifurahisha. Kwanza kabisa, msukumo upi wewe mwenyewe ambao umekusukuma ukaamua ndaenda COP28?
One kitu ilini move to go to COP28 nilipoona, nilialikwa mwanzo being one of the key players in the industry. Wakaona ile kazi nafanya ku conserve environment through beekeeping. Kwa hivyo nikapata invitation and I was able to go to Dubai and see venye hao pia wana champion for the saving of the bees. What pushed me to start Apiculture Venture is the need of working with small scale holders, beekeepers, because this is a group that was really neglected. So what does Apiculture do? Apiculture Venture operates in one, we manufacture beekeeping equipment. Two, we train beekeepers and farmers, both female, male, and youths on how to keep bees in a modern way. We also offer pollination services whereby companies come and hire our beehives and pollinate their crops. Fourthly, we also we are commercial beekeepers whereby we lease land, and after leasing this land, we are able to keep our own beehives, produce honey, and at the same time process and use those areas that we've leased as area of training for most beekeepers. And finally, we collect beehive products, which is honey, propolis, pollen, and any other product that is produced by the bees, and our brand name Golden Bee Honey. Yeah.
Wewe unajiita Queen Bee. Jina lenyewe limetoka wapi?
Actually, the name Queen Bee I was given by a friend of mine from Tanzania. So we were having this conversation, and she just like, Pauline, I like what you're doing, and from today onwards you'll be known by the Queen Bee. And I gladly embrace the name because I believe I'm the Queen Bee of Kenya, because of the impact that I've had in beekeeping industry, how I've inspired so many women, and also being a hard worker in the beekeeping sector. I embrace the name because you know how much the queen works very hard in that hive to make sure the colony survives. Here I'm the Queen Bee who makes sure that this colony of Apiculture Venture survives and thrives in its space.
Tuzungumzie nyuki au bee ikihusika na masuala ya environment, hasa ukizingatia ulienda COP28.
Ukiangalia, if we go back and check of how important the role the bee plays in the environment, one is through pollination. Crops need to be pollinated for better yields. Some of the crops that I will just mention, like avocado, the Hass avocado relies heavily on bee pollination. We look at the pawpaws, we look at the melons, we look at canola, strawberries. All these crops rely heavily on bee pollination. So for us as Apiculture Venture, our tagline being save bees, save nature, then we are saving these bees, we are saving nature, and in the process we're also saving humanity because we are helping crops to be pollinated, increasing food security, and at the same time ensuring that our bees are well secured by providing a home, which is a hive for them. One of my highlights when I attended COP28 was the fact that there was a short documentary talking about bees by a famous filmmaker, Mr. Tickle, if I'm not wrong. He did a very nice documentary about Be the Change, to save our pollinators. That was the message. So how am I then will be part of the change as Apiculture Venture? And that is what drives me, and that is what drives Apiculture Venture, to be the change in climate change. Because as we all know, climate change is affecting our pollinators, which is in turn leading to the decline of our pollinators.
Okay. Kuna research imefanywa na inaonyesha kwamba 80% ya mimea yetu hutegemea nyuki. na research yenyewe inaendelea na kusema kwamba nyuki wakitolewa binadamu will live for 4 years. Eleza hapo kwa undani kidogo.
We look at the number of crops that are really, and crops and plants, as you rightly said, up to 80% of our crops. Well, there are other pollinators. There are crops that self-pollinate. There are crops and plants that rely on other insects, not only bees. But bees play the most important role. So if we do not save these pollinators, look at Europe, look at America, they are facing bee decline. We don't want that to happen in our country. If you're not careful, we will be forced to do hand pollination. So as Apiculture Venture, what are we doing then? We are here to help our pollinators, which are the bees, one, by educating the farmer on the importance of beekeeping. Two, by being champions in climate conservation, in environment conservation, so that we can conserve our bees. And three, by providing homes for them. As you can see, we are making these beehives and taking them to various parts of the country so that we can be able to produce honey, capture our pollinators and save them. Because we don't want human beings to be extinct in 4 years. We enjoy this life just as the bees produce the sweet honey for us. We want to enjoy to live on Earth, and this we can only do if we continue protecting our pollinators and reducing the decline of the bees in the environment.
Umezungumzia mambo CSR, kupanda miti. Kwako una participate vipi kuhakikisha kwamba hili linafanyika?
Thank you so much for that question. One thing is that apiculture is a heavy consumer of timber because our hives 100% are made of trees. So as a heavy consumer of timber, Apiculture Venture plays a role, one, in tree planting. We participate at least 3 to 4 times a year in tree planting, not only being called upon by the government, but taking it as social responsibility, taking it as a part of the activities in our calendar as Apiculture Venture in planting trees. I've participated in tree planting recently in my former primary school, where we make sure that everywhere there's a function, we plant about at least 100 seedlings of trees. We will purchase the trees and also plant the trees. We've also worked with KFS in planting trees last year. And also in the recent call there was a holiday on tree planting, which we took part. I took the champion, like in our estate, to make sure it starts with you in that small space. So I took the lead in making sure that there are seedlings, one, to be planted, and two, not only planting trees, but not only growing trees, but planting, helping the tree grow. So I've planted the trees. So what happens after that? So making sure that these trees are watered, they are cared for, and make sure that they grow to the next level. We find most of us will only take place in tree planting, but what about in helping the tree grow? So that's what Apiculture Venture has taken part into, not just planting, but also assisting in tree growing. Also, on the same foot, what we've done as Apiculture Venture is to talk to farmers on the importance of trees in the environment. This will help the farmer not cut the tree in his compound, but use it instead as a bee sanctuary where you can hive, where you can install your beehive. So in as much as we are tree consumers, we do not cut the indigenous trees to make hives. No, no, no. And even the timber, we buy it from private woodlots. So this means that we will encourage many more other people to plant trees so that they can also generate some income to sell the timber to us. And for the same time, when we buy the timber, then we're able to construct beehives, which will in turn provide a home for our bees. And if we provide a home for our bees, then we'll be saving our bees and we'll be saving the nature.
Umezungumza kuhusiana na indigenous trees. Risk ambazo zinakuja wakati unakata miti aina hii ni gani?
First of all is we are losing what we have had for a very long time. These indigenous trees take very long time to grow. So if you're cutting indigenous tree to make a hive, then you'll be losing it. Yet there are other alternatives in which there are other tree alternatives and timber alternatives that you can use to make the beehives.
Wewe unashughulika sana kuhakikisha kwamba tunazingatia mazingira yetu, but naona unatumia mbao kujenga nyumba ya nyuki.
Thank you very much for that question. We know that timber, a bee natural habitat is timber. Yes, we use timber, but at the same time as Apiculture Venture, we play a vital role in tree planting. We are champions in tree planting. There's a project I'm working on of bringing an alternative hive that will consume up to 80% less of timber. These are processes that are it's in process. And so far, we've already put the hive in test, and it is working. Of course, I'm looking for other partners that we can work with towards this project. It's not a cheap project. It's quite costly, but I know that once it's out and rolling, you will be the first ones to know, and you let Kenyans know there's an alternative of making a hive that uses up to 80% less of timber, and it is safe to the bees, one, and safe to the environment.
Queen Bee, kuna kijana msichana anayekutazama, neno lako kwake hasa katika swala hili la kutunza mazingira yetu?
I encourage youths and women to get to this space. Beekeeping in terms of environment, climate smart. One, I did it, you can. Get the right partners, work with them.